The President of the People's Republic of China is the head of state of the People's Republic of China. On paper, the presidency is a largely ceremonial office with limited powers. However, in recent years the General Secretary of the Communist Party has also served simultaneously as president. In Chinese politics, the election to the post of party leader marks his ascension as paramount leader of the country rather than the presidency. The office is classified as an institution of the state rather than an administrative post. The office was first established in the PRC Constitution of 1954 and successively held by Mao Zedong and Liu Shaoqi in 1959. Liu fell into political disgrace during the Cultural Revolution and the office was abolished. The office was officially scrapped under the Constitution of 1975, then reinstated in the Constitution of 1982, but with reduced powers. The official English language translation of the title was Chairman. After 1982, this translation was changed to President, although the Chinese title remains unchanged. Under the present Chinese constitution, the presidency is a prestigious but largely ceremonial position holding few powers in its own right, most significantly the right to nominate the premier. Most of the few powers the president does possess are subject to the approval of the National People's Congress, by whom the president is elected for up to 2 terms of 5 years each. However, since the presidency of Jiang Zemin, every president has also simultaneously held the positions of party general secretary and chairman of the Central Military Commission, which, unlike the presidency, wields significant power. As a result of this convention, the president, the head of state, also controls the Communist Party's Politburo, Secretariat and military, therefore being China's de facto paramount leader. That is to say, present-day paramount leaders hold the office of president, but the president is not necessarily the paramount leader, as was the case between 1959 and 1993. The current president is Xi Jinping, who took office on the 14th of March 2013. Qualifications and election. According to the current Constitution of the People's Republic of China, the president must be a Chinese citizen with full electoral rights who has reached the age of 45. The president's term of office is the same as the term of the National People's Congress, and the president and vice president are both limited to 2 consecutive terms. The president is elected by the National People's Congress, China's highest state body, which also has the power to remove the president and other state officers from office. Elections and removals are decided by a simple majority vote. According to the organic law of the NPC, the president is nominated by the NPC Presidium, the Congress's executive organ. In practice, however, the ruling Communist Party of China reserves the post of president for its current general secretary. Like all offices of state elected by the NPC, the president is elected from a one-name ballot. In the event that the office of president falls vacant, the vice president succeeds to the office. In the event that both offices fall vacant, the chairman of the NPC Standing Committee temporarily acts as president until the NPC can elect a new president and vice president. Powers and duties. Under the current Constitution of the People's Republic of China, instated in 1982 with minor revisions in later years, the president has the power to promulgate laws, select and dismiss the premier as well as the ministers of the State Council, grant presidential pardons, declares a state of emergency, issue mass mobilization orders, and issue state honors. In addition, the president names and dismisses ambassadors to foreign countries, signs and annuls treaties with foreign entities. According to the Constitution, all of these powers require the approval or confirmation of the National People's Congress. The President also conducts state visits on behalf of the People's Republic. Under the Constitution, the State Visit Clause is the only presidential power that does not stipulate any form of oversight from the National People's Congress. As the vast majority of presidential powers are dependent on the ratification of the NPC, the president is, in essence, a symbolic post without any direct say in the governance of state. It is therefore conceived to mainly function as a symbolic institution of the state rather than an office with true executive powers. In theory, the president has discretion over the selection of the premier, though in practice the premier has historically been selected through the top-level discussions of the Communist Party of China. Upon the nomination of the premier, the NPC convenes to confirm the nomination, but since only one name is on the ballot, it can only approve or reject. To date, it has never rejected a personnel nomination. Since the premier, the head of government in China, is the most important political appointment in the Chinese government, the nomination power, under some circumstances, may give the president real political influence. Political ranking. For President Liu Shaoqi, he was also the first vice-chairman of the Communist Party of China, ranked second in the Communist Party of China, behind Chairman Mao Zedong. For President Li Zhanyan, he was also the fifth-ranked member of the Politburo Standing Committee, after CPC General Secretary and Premier. For President Yang Shankan, he was not a member of Politburo Standing Committee, but he ranked third after General Secretary Zhao Ziyang and Deng Xiaoping. Since Jiang Zemin, the president is also the General Secretary of the Communist Party of China, ranking first in party and state history. The office of State Chairman was first established under China's 1954 Constitution. The ceremonial powers of the office were largely identical to those in the current Constitution. The powers of the 1954 office differed from those of the current office in two areas, military and governmental. The State Chairman's military powers were defined in the 1954 Constitution as follows. The Chairman of the People's Republic of China commands the armed forces of the state, and is chairman of the National Defense Council. The National Defense Council was unique to the 1954 Constitution and was mandated as the civil command for the People's Liberation Army. It was abolished under the 1975 Constitution. The state chairman's governmental powers were defined in the 1954 Constitution as follows. The chairman of the People's Republic of China, whenever necessary, convenes a Supreme State Conference and acts as its chairman. The members of the Supreme State Conference included the main offices of state, and its views were to be presented to the main organs of state and government, including the National People's Congress and the State and National Defense Councils. The Supreme State Conference was also unique to the 1954 Constitution. It was abolished under the 1975 Constitution, and later constitutions have not included a similar body. Mao Zedong was the first to hold the office of State Chairman. He was elected at the founding session of the National People's Congress in 1955. At the second NPC in 1959, Mao was succeeded by Liu Shaoqi, first vice-chairman of the Communist Party. Liu was re-elected as state chairman at the third NPC in January 1965. However, in 1966, Mao launched the Cultural Revolution, and by August 1966 Mao and his supporters succeeding in removing Liu from his position as party vice-chairman. A few months later Liu was apparently placed under house arrest, and after a prolonged power struggle the 12th plenum of the 8th Communist Party Congress stripped Liu Shaoqi of all his party and non-party positions on October 31, 1968, including the post of state chairman. This was in violation of the Constitution, which required a vote by the NPC to remove the state chairman. From Liu's removal in 1968 until 1972, the office of State Chairman was vacant. From 1972 to 1975, however, state media referred to Vice State Chairman Dong Biwu as acting State Chairman. When the fourth NPC was convened in 1975, its main act was to adopt a new constitution which eliminated the office of State Chairman and emphasized instead the leadership of the Communist Party over the state, including an article that made the party chairman supreme commander of the PLA in concurrence as chairman of the party CMC. The fifth NPC was convened 2 years early, in 1978, and a third constitution was adopted, which also lacked the office of State Chairman. The office was finally reinstated in the fourth constitution, adopted by the fifth session of the fifth NPC in 1982. The title of the office was unchanged in the Chinese text, but a new English translation of President of the People's Republic of China was adopted. In the 1982 Constitution, the President was conceived of as a figurehead of state with actual state power resting in the hands of the General Secretary of the Communist Party and the Premier, and all three posts were designed to be held by separate people. The President therefore held minor responsibilities such as greeting foreign dignitaries and signing the appointment of embassy staff, and did not intervene in the affairs of the State Council of the party. In the original 1982 Constitution plan, the party would develop policy, the state would execute it, and the power would be divided to prevent a cult of personality from forming as it did with the case of Mao Zedong. Thus in 1982, China perceivably had four main leaders: Hu Yaobang, the party general secretary; Zhao Ziyang, the premier; Li Zhanyan, the president; and Deng Xiaoping, the paramount leader, holding title of the chairman of the Central Military Commission and was overall commander-in-chief of the armed forces. The current political structure of Vietnam is similar to the structure China followed in the 1980s. In the 1990s, the experiment of separating party and state posts, which led to conflict during the Tiananmen Square protests of 1989, was terminated. In 1993, the post of president was taken by Jiang Zemin, who was General Secretary of the Communist Party and chairman of the Central Military Commission, became the undisputed top leader of the party and the state. When Jiang Zemin stepped down in 2003, the offices of General Secretary and President were once again both given to one man, then Vice President Hu Jintao, the first Vice President to assume the office. In turn, Hu vacated both offices for Xi Jinping in 2012 and 2013. List of Presidents, Chairman, Presidents, other heads of state. President's spouse. Since the first President, 7 had a spouse during term of office. Living former presidents. As of August 2016, there are 2 living former presidents.